Hi there, I'm Tom. Welcome to Tom's Grinder Lab. This is a first look review of the Timemore X Millab M01. Millab being Timemore's top-end premium range. I believe this hand grinder is the pinnacle of design and engineering excellence. I'll tell you why as we go through the review, but this is the grinder in question, very sleek and elegant. Lots to unpack with this particular grinder, but we're going to kick off as always with a summary so you don't have to scroll to the end to hear my thoughts on it. We're going to look at the specs and key features, the sort of the big picture view of the grinder, have a look at the grinder in action in the grinder lab, let you know what I don't like about it, let you know what I like most about it, and I will finish up as always with who I think this hand grinder would be best for. So kicking off with the summary, this is a premium end hand grinder. The too long didn't read version is that 90% of the design, and I'll let you know about the 10% when we go into what I don't like about it, and 100% of the engineering on this grinder is to die for. I have literally never held a hand grinder that felt so good, in my eyes at least, looked so good and functioned so well apart from one little tiny niggle. And such was the quality that I really regard this as the pinnacle of quality componentry and engineering excellence. The design has already won the Good Design Award for 2024, and I think it's probably going to sweep a lot of grinders and design awards, I should say, before it didn't slip, but probably true. So just to give you a bit of an idea of the look and feel, that was one slide you saw there. This is a shot of the top of the grinder with the dial under here, but everything has got incredibly fine precision tolerances to it, but also extremely high quality in every single aspect of the componentry. So let's have a look at the specs and big picture, sort of what are some of the key features. So as you can see, it weighs in at 1159 grams. Do not expect this to be light in your hand. It is solid, it is high quality componentry, and therefore it's going to weigh a bit heavier than some of the other grinders. It has very, very good grinding range. It grinds fine enough for cinnamon espresso. And by cinnamon, what I'm meaning by that is it's lighter than a traditional light roast. So very light roast beans, more than happy to grind for that. In fact, the first time I ground for espresso, I put it on the finest grind setting and it choked the grinder. And this is very, very light beans. So it's got a full grinding range. It shouldn't just be considered to be a pour over or a filter grinder, although obviously it's very good for that as well. Nice long grind arm. I don't know how many bearings they've put into the system there, but the action is super smooth, super easy. It gives you this confident feeling while you're grinding because of the ease of the action, but you can still feel the beans being actually ground. 100-step micro adjustments, very smooth and very firm as you're clicking around it as a stepped adjustment, very smooth, very firm. So it's not like you're going to overrun a particular setting. It's going to click into place quite nicely. Talking of things that are snug, the catch cup snaps into place. No magnets on the catch cup, which I really like because I do find that the hand grinders with magnets, clever though they are, too often I should say, I'm bumping them and they're just falling onto the ground and spilling all the grounds. So I really like the catch cup mechanism for insertion here because it's also not a thread where you have to twist and twist and twist to get it on. It's just a push and then a snap into place. And I'll show you that in the grinder lab in a moment. Ultra fine engineering tolerances, I've mentioned that already. Highest grade componentry, ditto. Pineapple burrs, these are very, very interesting. They're 50% taller than the burr you would normally expect in a grinder like this. I'll show you what they look like in a moment. I received a supplied particle distribution, PD, particle distribution report from Timemore indicating there was a 10% consistency improvement over and above other high-end grinder burrs. So that's quite a significant jump in. And one of the reasons is probably, you can see here, at 30 mil tall versus a standard burr that you might expect in a grinder like this being 20 meter tall, there's a longer grind path, but it doesn't mean a longer grinding experience, as you'll discover as we go into the grinder lab. So let's do that. Let's go into the grinder lab. And I've got a little video here. I wanted to put a video together, even though watching someone grind by hand is not particularly exciting. There's a few things I wanted to show you, and I really wanted to give you a feel for the grinder rather than just giving you a bunch of photos. I've left the audio on here. I don't know if you could hear that. It might be worth me replaying it and shutting up. You can hear that sort of reassuring snap, and that's what I'm talking about with a dosing cup. Not magnets, not having to turn it and turn it, turn it, just a nice snap. Nice wide entry, sort of splayed entry to the hopper. Beautiful arm, nice long arm, and doesn't fall over easily like some hand grinders do, even though the arm is quite strong. I think that's quite clever. I've sped this up 3 times because who wants to watch me hand grinding? I'm just pointing out the arm is quite long there. So yeah, hard to give you a pretty video of someone hand grinding. 38 seconds, and that was grinding for the filter 3 or for pour over or filter coffee, as you might normally call it. Just showing you the top of the dial here, which is something that annoys me, but it might not annoy you. You can see that the numbers are kind of hidden under the lip of the hopper. So for me, I need my glasses to see that. Younger people may not, but it is a little awkward, I find. So I want to just show you that in situ. I might just replay that so that you can make up your own mind as whether it's going to be an issue for you or not. Here we go again. Sorry, I'm wobbling around a bit here, but there you go. You get a bit of an idea. Finally, there. There. It is a super smooth dial, and I just love the fact that there's so many clicks and there's so many small clicks. They're also quite firm to the feel. So what don't I like about this? Well, there's only really one thing, and it's the lip I referred to before that hangs over the dial. So for me, I find it annoying and difficult, and it will take a bit of getting used to. As I said, the dial mechanism itself is perfect, but I just find I'm having to look under the dial there and click, click, and I've got to have my glasses on. So aesthetically, it looks beautiful. Functionally, I think it could be better. That's all I'll say about it. And look, you'll make up your own mind about this, but just be aware if you are going to invest in this grinder, and I don't have a pricing on it yet, but I imagine it's going to be very premium end, price-wise as well as makeup-wise. You just need to be aware that when you get it, you might have the same frustration as I have. You may not. It's workable, it's doable, it's just not as easy to see as some of the other external dial indicators. I'd still prefer to have it like this, even though it's kind of chintzy and aesthetically pleasing, but functionally not as easy. I still rather have it like this than have to take the dosing cup off the bottom and have a look inside there. What I like most about the grinder, one of the problems here is I'm going to wax so lyrical, you'll think I've been paid for this review, which I have not been. I would like to have been, but I have not been. It is simply the best hand grinder I've ever held or used. So let's start on the bottom. There is a rubber or a silicone base on the bottom. So when you put it down on the bench, it's a very soft, smooth, gentle experience. I like that. I really like the fact that they have decided to go for a clear top. You can see the beans. So if you want to have a little poke and see how many more green beans are left, you don't have to take the top off. You can often just have a look through this clear perspex or what it happens to be. The grip size is about right. I have quite big hands, but I asked my wife to have a look at this and hold it and use the action. She had no problems whatsoever. So I think they've got the width of the body right. Everywhere you look on this grinder, there are indications of perfection. Nice big lock on here. So when you want to do a deep clean and take the burrs out, very easily marked as to exactly which direction you have to press that unlock knob to get the burrs out. Made in China. If I had $1 for every time someone posted somewhere and said, yes, but it's made in China, I would be a very wealthy guy. Please, for the small minority that are out there that's still thinking that made in China means cheap, I think once you see the price on this, and I don't know what it is at the moment, but I think it's going to be reassuringly expensive. And so it should be, because some of the quality that's coming out of Chinese manufacturing plants is just world leading, not world class, but world leading. So hold on to your hats, because I think the Millab M01 is just the start of some of the precision engineering and design that we're going to be seeing coming out from the world's manufacturing country. Another thing I quite like is, I mentioned this before, but the dosing cup fits onto the base or the body with this nice little, very carefully, very finely engineered locking mechanism. So you would have seen it in the grinder lab. It's just a snap and a snap and it goes on. And you know when it's on properly because there's a little click at the end. But it's very easy. It feels so smooth that it feels like they've got some sort of silicon gasket in there, but I can't see anything. I think it's just the composition of the steel or aluminum they've used here, plus the precision, the way this slowly, but very, very fine increase in tightness is that what makes it snap into place. But it's however they did it, it's very clever. I mentioned this before again, but I do like the fact that the top is splayed slightly, so that it makes it a little easy to pour the beans in. Now let's go and have a look at who I think this would be best for. I think this is going to be best for you if you really appreciate and value world-leading precision engineering. When I say I don't think I've ever held a hand grinder that has the small tolerances and the precision of engineering design as this one, I literally do mean that. And I've had dozens and dozens of hand grinders across my bench. If you want a second grinder for filter or pour over, and if you've viewed some of my videos before, you know I'm pretty keen on you having one grinder for espresso and one for filter or pour over if you're wanting both those styles of coffee, then this would be an excellent choice, budget permitting. But if you're going to be stubborn and you want just one grinder and you're prepared to do hand grinding for espresso, which is going to take you several minutes of hand grinding each time, this would make an excellent hybrid burr set. So there is that to it if you really want to have the one grinder. If you want personally, I value owning something that is best in class. So the precision of the engineering, the design smarts, the aesthetics, I think there's a whole lot of value in a grinder like this other than what you enjoy in the cup. The brand behind this with the ethos of philanthropy, of caring about individuals, of taking pride in design and engineering. This is, in addition to all of that, this is a grinder you can be proud of owning and derive some satisfaction from knowing that you own something that is best in class. Can't wait to see the pricing. I imagine it's going to be premium. It deserves to be premium. It should be premium because this is truly, at date of reviewing this, my all-time favorite, highest quality precision engineering hand grinder.